Alright, make sure we're good. Go live. Boom, perfect. Alright. We are live. I am a few minutes early. That's okay. I'll go ahead and get going. Send a message to the few. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're just a handful of us in this break, so I'm going to give away a $5 break credit to someone in the break. Brent, Greg, or Josh. And it's going to be Greg. Go to that off to the side, Greg. Congrats. I don't have any numbered hits for basketball, so unfortunately that's why I did the $5 break credit. So congrats, Greg. Cody, how we doing, buddy? All right. I have all 18 remaining teams in here because in 1990-91 there was only 27 teams, not 30. So I have all of them in here. Michael Jordan cards, how we doing? We're just breaking some 90-91 Skybox and NBA hoops. So taking it old school. So I got 18 remaining teams in here outside of the 9 paid teams. So I'm going to roll the dice 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got number 2. So I'm going to randomize it twice. There's 1 and 2. So let me take the first 9 and put those in here. And take the next 9 and put them in here. Let me fix this. My formatting is off. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Oops. Yes. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so, Greg, you have the Bulls, Suns, and Bucks. Brent, you have the Celtics, Pacers, and Cavaliers. If you hit any Reggie Miller, you and I are going to have a conversation. And then, Josh, you have the Knicks, Bullets, and Clippers. If any of the 3 of you see any cards that are hit and are interested outside of the teams that you have, let me know. Like, there's just 4 of us in this break, so I'm willing to work with you. I mean, honestly, anything that hits outside of your guys' teams is going to go into my store's inventory for shows and things. So if you see something you like, just shoot me a message. We'll work. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot my keyboard off to the side. And I'm going to shrink this down. Put our little displays up here. And I'm going to start with Skybox. And then work our way to the NBA hoops. So I am excited about this. Take me back to the old school when I was growing up. So I'm excited about it. Holy cow, maybe. There we go. Inaugural edition Skybox. Alright, empty box. Old school box. Whew. I'm anxious to see what's in these. Alright, good luck, everybody. Oh, you can definitely tell it's old school. I will sleeve up, top hits and such, and so forth. So, there's Glenn Rice, LaSalle Thompson, Michael Cooper, there's Clyde Drexler, Joe Baker Carroll. Oh, hold on. Camera down. There we go. Kelly Tripickett, Kevin Willis, Gary Grant, Evan Duckworth, Terry Davis, Buck Williams, Scoot Hastings, Mark Akers, Darrell Walker, and Chris Morris. Alright. So Clyde is for sure. I'll get a sleeve of him. Clyde the Glide. Oh yeah. John Long, Nate McMillan, Terry Teagle, Sam Perkins, Charles Oakley, Scott Hafner, Jerome Lane, Paul Pressey, Drazen Petrovic, Rod Strickland, Lever Otis Thorpe, Del Curry. There he is. Michael. So first Michael hit. There you go, Greg. I pulled out the Drazen Petrovic too because that's his rookie card. Or this is his rookie year. It doesn't say rookie on it, but it's definitely a rookie card. Alright, so Michael, first one. Let's see how many Michaels we hit tonight. So Drazen, I'll go ahead and sleeve up. Boom. Josh, how we doing, my man? I said earlier, and I don't think you were on yet, but if something hits outside of your team, shoot me a message, let me know. Like, I'll work with you, especially if it's a team that went unclaimed. I'll work with you to get you hooked up. So, Tim Perry, AC Green, Danny Manning, Manute Bull, Brian Quinnett, Steve Coulter, Derek Gervin, Jerry Reynolds, Hershey Hawkins, Willie Anderson, Adrian Dantley, there's Patrick Ewing, Brad Sellers, Michael Williams, and Thurl Bailey. And Josh, just so you're aware, you have the Knicks, Bullets, and Clippers. Is there another... is there a certain team that was in the free that you were hoping to get? Let me know, and I can flip it over to you. Especially if it's a team that went on, or that fell to one of the store ones. I'll work with you. I'm going through Skybox first. Stuart Gray, Delaney Rude, Sam Bowie, Dave Corzine, Giant Darkins, Ralph Sampson, John Morton. There he is, Larry Bird, one of my favorite players. I got bobbleheads and all kinds of stuff of his in my office. The Hick from French Lick. Yeah, for sure. Nice way to start off. You honestly, and that's the thing. These cards, both Skybox and NBA Hoops, ungraded values maybe a couple bucks, but you get them graded, and especially the Jordan and the Mark Jackson on the NBA Hoops with the Melendez brothers in the background. There's Karl Malone. They get a decent return for sure. Okay. Honestly, when you rewatch, hey, there's a Keem Olajuwon. When you rewatch it, let me know if there's anything that you're interested in, and we can work something out. I got you. There's a Keem Olajuwon and Karl Malone. Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping we hit you one. I would absolutely love it. I just ordered a grading kit today, so that I can keep track and just, as I rip and people ask if it's centered and that sort of thing, I can have the tools to be able to let them know. Vernon Maxwell, Dan Shays, Reggie Theus, Jay Humphreys, Scott Hastings, Fred Roberts, and Danny Young. No, this definitely takes me back to my early childhood. I remember collecting this set. This and the NBA Hoops. NBA Hoops might be my first set that I in fact, I have a Reggie Miller autograph from the 91 Hoops in my PC. Michael Smith, Cliff Livingston, Robert McLeod, Andrew Lang, Joe Wolf, Wanda Blackman, Jerome Lane, Maurice Cheeks, Jared Getledge, Harold Presley, Charles Barkley. There he is. So we're getting a lot of the Hall of Famers and legends of this so far. Already got one Magic and one Jordan and one Bird so far. I'm sure we'll get a Magic here soon. Anthony Bowie, Jack Sikma, J.R. Reed, Billy Thompson, Manute Bol. There's Todd Murphy, Vinny Del Negro, Steve Johnson, Kiki Vanaway, Vern Fleming, Charles Jones. There's David Robinson, Walter Davis, Armand Gilliam, and Alexander Volkov. David. Boom. Alright. Got your Tony Campbell, Cliff Robinson, Wingate Todd Leidy, Mitchell Wiggins, Ken Norman, Dennis Rodman with the Pistons. That's a nice one too. Tim Kempton, Aaron Bogue, Glenn Rivers, Dyron Nix, Dan Marley. There's Vladi, Joe Dumars. I believe that's a Vladi rookie, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Dumars and Dennis Rodman. Surprised they haven't hit a Magic yet. Moses Malone, Grant Long, Jerome Richardson, David Greenwood, Brad Davis, Reggie Lewis, Jeff Martin, Jerome Kersey, Tellis Frank, James Worthy, Mike Smrek, Michael Ainsley, Will Perdue, and Purvis Short. James Edwards, Terry Porter, Wayne Woolidge, Wayne Cooper, Tom Garrick, Volkov, Todd Murphy, Edgar Johnson, Keek, Charles Jones. There's David Robinson again, and Armand Gilliam. It's funny to look back through these and see how many of these that were players back then that are now coaches or have coached in the league. A lot of former coaches, or a lot of former players that are coaches in the league, for sure. Tom Tolbert, Theodore Edwards, Robert Parrish, Ed Neely, Hagar, Sam Mitchell, Greg Kite, Danny Ferry, Rory Sparrow, Dwayne Farrell, John Sally, Kevin Johnson, Gerald Henderson, Brad Doherty, and Dennis Johnson. I haven't got a Reggie Miller either. Roy Henson, Otis Smith, Bob Thornton, Frank Burkowski, Anthony Jones, Terry Cummings, checklist, Anthony Webb, Michael Adams, Eric Floyd, Derek Harper, Chuck Person, Ben Coleman, William Bedford, and Randy Brewer. Scott Hastings, Fred Roberts, Danny Young, Dana Barros, Blair Rasmussen, Rick Smith, the Dunking Dutchman, Winston Bennett. There's Magic. Finally, there's a Steve Kerr as a player for the Cavs. Brian Rossum, Kenny Smith, Mike Sanders, Mike McGee, Larry Drew, and Bernard King. So there is our Magic. So we got the three legends here. Magic, Larry, and Jordan. Let's see if we can get more of them. Scott Brooks. Oops. Eddie Johnson, Zarko Paspalj, Herb Williams, Chris Mullen, Bill Cartwright, Eric Johnson, Ricky Green, Tim Hardaway, Dominique Wilkins, Brad Lohaus, Mike Schmreck, Paul Pressey, and Drazen Petrovic. Which actually, is that a different Petrovic than... Is it the same one? It's the same one. I was just seeing double. Alright, so Dominique, Tim Hardaway, and Chris Mullen. Boom. I would agree. Honestly, Ewing was very underrated. As much as I hated him because I'm a Pacers fan and I despise the Knicks of the 90s, he was very underrated. Like, he, not only for, was he good, but for a long period of time. Like, he was a solid center for a long time, more so than other centers. But very underrated. Very underrated, even from the college game. Like, Volkov, Garrick, Wayne Cooper, Orlando Woolridge, Terry Porter, James Edwards, Gerald Wilkins, Tom Hammonds, Dennis Hobson, Horace Grant, Jeff Turner, Sean Elliott, Tarpley, Chambers. Checklist. So, yeah, I mean, I absolutely, I hated going against the Knicks back in the day, because it was always a battle. I mean, Pacers and Knicks, you know it just as well as I do. It was absolutely brutal, those series, every year. Ron Harper, Byron Irvin, Sherman Douglas, Alvin Robertson, Sarunas, Nick Anderson, John Williams, Pete Myers, Ron Anderson, Jeff Hornacek, Johnny Moore, Randy White, Kevin McHale, and John Paxson. I actually worked for Lid Sports Group back in the day, and we had Spike Lee came and did some production for a commercial that Lids was doing. So he toured the corporate office and everything. I actually took my wife's neon green Spizikes that she has. My wife's a shoe person, and had them autographed by Spike Lee. So we have them in our house in a display case with his autograph on them. They're sweet. So, but I agree with you. One of my favorite rivalries. It was always a battle. Yeah, it was crazy. Those were the golden days of NBA basketball. I love those. Randy Allen, Quentin Daly, Craig Hodges, Ed Pinckney, Kevin Edwards, Ricky Pierce, Wayne Rollins, John Williams, Kevin Gamble, Wright Benjamin, Kurt Rambis, Mark McNamara. There he is. Reggie, Jim Peterson, and Trent Tucker. Yeah, and Spike Lee, I don't know if you've ever met him. He is crazy intelligent when it comes to, and his mind, holy cow, the things he remembers about sporting events. Like, we stood there and chatted with him for a good half hour to an hour, and that man could ramble, and I mean, he would tell you little minor details of sporting events and events that he was at and such. It was just absolutely crazy. It was awesome. Like, it was really cool to meet him and to sit and chat and just talk sports with him. He was such a cool guy. Kenny Walker, Harvey Grant, Roy Hinton, Otis Smith, Bob Thornton, Bukowski, Jones, Terry Cummings. Nice. I've never been to Madison Square Garden. I actually I looked at games for the Yankees and Mets while we're out there, but I always have wanted to go to Madison Square Garden for a game of something. So at some point I'll get there. So Xavier McDaniel, Dave Hoppin, Darrell Griffin, Vern Maxwell, Dan Shays, Reggie Theus, Jay Humphries, Scott Hastings. And we got Fred Roberts, Danny Young, Dana Barros, Blair Rasmussen, Rick Smits, and Winston Bennett. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, it's called the Mecca for a reason, you know? So I've walked out in front of it. I just have never, I just have never been inside of it. So, Tellis Frank, James Worthy, Mike Schmreck, Ainsley, Will Purdue, for short, Scott Brooks, Chris Mullen, Bill Cartwright, Eric Johnson, and Ricky Green. Still only one Larry, one Magic, and one Michael. So, absolutely, my man. Absolutely. I'll post a recap of top hits, but then I'll also post it here on Instagram as well as on YouTube. So I appreciate you, and have a good night, my man. Minute Bowl. Todd Murphy, Vinny Del Negro, Steve Johnson, Kiki Vandeweghe, Vern Fleming, Charles Jones, David Robinson, Walter Davis, Art Gilliam, Volkov, Tom Garrick, Wayne Cooper, Woolridge, and Terry Porter. Let's leave up David. You as well, my friend. Have a good Easter if I don't talk to you before then. Danny Ferry, Roy Sparrow, Dwayne Farrell, John Sally, Kevin Johnson, Gerald Henderson, Brad Doherty, Dennis Johnson, Ron Harper, Byron Irvin, Ernest, Nick Anderson, and John Williams. There's Spud Webb, Anthony Spud Webb, Michael Adams, Eric Floyd, Derek Harper, Chuck Person, Ben Coleman, William Bedford, Randy Brewer, Randy Allen, Quentin Daly, Craig Hodges, Ed Pinkney, Kevin Edwards, Ricky Pierce, and Wayne Rollins. Oh, there's Magic on the front there. Boom. Second one. Steve Kerr, Brian Rawsome, Kenny Smith, Mike Sanders, Mike McGee, Larry Drew, Bernard King, Vinnie Johnson, John Newman, Mark Alari, Lester Connor, Sidney Green, Mike Kaminsky, and Wayman Tisdale. Alright, so we got two Magics. Let's see if we can hit another Jordan and another Bird here in the last some odd packs that we get. Let's see what we get. There's Tim Hardaway, Dominic Wilkins, Brad Lohaus, Mike Smirk, Paul Pressey, Drazen Petrovic, Rod Strickland, Otis Thorpe, Del Curry. There he is! Michael Jordan, Chucky Brown, Michael Smith, Cliff Livingston, and George McLeod. Alright, so there's our second Jordan hit. Dominic Wilkins and Tim Hardaway. And then Jordan. Love me some Jordan. Brent, how we doing, my man? How was Jonah's art show? James Edwards, Gerald Wilkins, Tom Hammonds, Dennis Hobson, Horace Grant, Jeff Turner, Sean Elliott, Roy Tarpley, Tom Chambers, Richard Anderson, Jeff Sanders, Buck Johnson, Alex English, and John Stockton. That's the first Stockton we've hit. Alright, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 more packs of Skybox and then into the NBA Hoops. Excited about it. Oh yeah, you've hit one Bird. We've hit 2 Magic, 2 Jordan, and 1 Bird so far. Pete Myers, Ron Anderson, Jeff Hornacek, Johnny Moore, Randy White, Kevin McHale, John Paxson, Bobby Hansen, Larry Smith, Bill Lambier. There's Isaiah Thomas. That's the first time we've hit him. Larry Kristoyak, Sarunas, and Tony Campbell. And Brent, you have the Celtics, Pacers, and Cavaliers. So, any Reggies, you and I will have to talk. Which we have hit a Reggie in here. Just one. Oh yeah, that's definitely frustrating. Definitely frustrating. John Williams, Kevin Gamble, Benoit Benjamin, Kurt Rambis, Mark McNamara. There's another Reggie. Jim Peterson, Trent Tucker, Will Eccles, Jack Haley, Scott Skiles, Derek Smith, Uwe Blob, James Donaldson, and Mark Eaton. That's definitely frustrating. That's a second Reggie. Most of the legends we've gotten 2 of each. So there's Steve Alford, little Indiana boy. Jeff Malone, Mark Price, Michael Holton, Citadel Threat, Kevin Upshaw, Mark Bryant, Mitch Richmond, John Sunewald, Vinnie Johnson. There's Donald Royal, Purvis Ellison, Sean Kemp, Glenn Rice, and LaSalle Thompson. Sean Kemp. Boom. Wall Street Sports Cards, how we doing? We are just ripping some old school NBA 1991. Right now we're in Skybox, and we got some NBA hoops coming afterwards. Blackman, Jamal Lane, Morris Cheeks, Lechner, Mookie Blaylock, Terry Cutledge, Leonard Copeland, Presley Rapkeski. There's Charles Barkley, Rex Chapman, John Long, and Nate McMillan. There's Charles. Jeff Grayer, James Edwards, Charles Smith, Danny Ainge, Michael Kate, Alan Coquette, Joe Klein, Byron Scott, Ronnie Cycli, Larry Nance, Stacey King, John Bagley, Della Shrimp, Tim Perry, and AC Green. Some ones in there that we haven't hit before. See if we get lucky and hit another bird in these last few packs. Cliff Robinson, Danny Wingate, Todd Leidy, Mitchell Wiggins, Ken Norman, Dennis Rodman, Tim Kempton, Tyron Bogues, Muggsy Bogues, Glenn Rivers, Aaron Nix, Dan Marley, Vladdy, Joe Dumars, Mark Aguilar, and Stuart Gray. We fit all these once before. And we got 3 more packs, it looks like. Yep, 3 more. Hi, Jonah Oakley. Are you guys getting ready for bed? Rick Mahorn, B.J. Armstrong, Mike Brown, Adrian Caldwell, Mark Jackson, Scottie Pippen, Greg Anderson, Jim Peterson, Sidney Lowe, Antoine Carr, Dale Ellis, Eddie Lee Wiggins, Carmelo. That's our first Scottie Pippen we've hit. Second Carmelo, though. Michael Cooper, Clyde Drexler, Joe Barry Carroll, Trapuka, Kevin Willis, Cary Grant, Duckworth, Terry Davis, Buck Williams, Scott Hastings, Mark Akers, Darrell Walker, Chris Morris, Sam Vincent, and Greg Grant. Alright, last one of Bowman. Got Terry Teagle, Sam Perkins, Charles Oakley, Scott Hafner, Jerome Lane, Tyrone Corbin, Roddy McRae, Derek McKee, Moses Malone, Grant Long, Jerome Richardson, David Greenwell, Brad Davis, and Reggie Lewis. Alright, so we did not hit a second Larry Bird. I'll move these off to the side real quick. All the base and clear my area up a little bit. Alright. Sleeve up Clyde. Alright, NBA hoops time it is. Nice. I figured it was close to bedtime for him. Oops. Oh my gosh, these packs. Oh, this takes me back to my... Oh my gosh. Takes me back to my childhood. These are awesome. Absolutely love them. So cool. Alright, good luck everybody. Let's see what we get here. John Sally, Sam Bowie, Mark Bryant, Dennis Johnson, Matt Gaukis, Bill Musselman, Mark Aguiar, Mike Kaminsky, Walton Polonius, Bill Fitch, Horace Grant. There's Larry Bird, Larry Legend, Shirley, and Tom Tolbert. Boom. Larry Legend. Starting it off in the first pack. We might not have had but one Larry in the first one. We'll hit a Larry Legend in the second one. Charles Smith, Chris Mullen, Robert Parrish, Herb Williams, Jeff Hornacek, Cotton Fitzsimmons, Del Harris, Dan Shays, Paul Pressey, Richard Anderson. There's a Scottie Pippen, Jack Haley, Sam Mitchell, that's a rookie. Sarunas Malachunas, rookie. Let's set Scotty and Chris Mullen off to the side. I'll go through and make sure everything gets sleeved and... Oh, shoot. I keep hitting that. I'm sorry. A Hick from French Lick. There's Scottie Pippen. Right off the front. Mark Price. There's Glenn Rice, rookie. Frank Cornett. Greg Grant. Kenny Battle. Dale Lambert. Antoine Carr. Sean Kemp, rookie. Boom. Kevin McHale, All-Star. Gerald Wickens. Christian Welp. So our chases are so far... that we're really hoping for some Mark Jackson with the Melendez brothers in the background, and Sam Vincent with the Jordan number 12 in the background. So those are our two biggest chases that we're looking for in this set. There's Dominique Wilkins, Brad Doherty, Hershey Hawkins, Jay Humphreys, Sam Vincent. There he is, Jordan number 12. Boom. Jordan number 12. Chris Mullen, Dave Corzine, John Bagley, Dale Ellis, Bill Cartwright, Blue Edwards. There's another Robert Parrish, Derek Gervin, Mel Turpin, and Drazen Petrovic, rookie. Boom. So there it is. Sam Vincent with Jordan in the background with number 12. Question is, do I send it in to get graded? Because that's where the value is with these sets, is getting them graded. Yeah, it's awesome. I hope, Josh and I were talking about it earlier, I really hope we hit one of Mark Jackson with the Melendez brothers. There's Patrick Ewing, there's Otis Smith, Chuck Daly, Ken Norman, Steve Johnson, John Paxson, Vern Fleming, Eric Floyd, Purvis Short, Caldwell Jones, and A.C. Green. Patrick. He'll be happy about that one. Well, I mean, graded-wise, they're going for a lot more. I mean, Michael, graded-wise, a Gem 10, just base in the All-Star one is like, you know, a couple $100. The Mark Jackson with the Melendez, I think, is like $300 based off Josh and I was. That's what Josh said earlier. So there's Sean Elliott, rookie. Scott Giles. There's Pat Riley and Chuck Daly, William Bedford, Joe Baker Carroll, Steve Kerr, Jeff Malone, Ricky Green, Don Chaney, Wingate, Bob Thornton, and Rick Adelman. So I know the Bird All-Star, it falls in the top 10 most valuable, but again, it's graded Gem, you know, mint Gem 10, yeah. So Danny Manning, Tim Hardaway, rookie, that's a nice one. Ronnie Cycli, Roy Tarpley, Ken Willis, Lafayette Lever, Rick Smits, Larry Rasmussen, Lenny Wilkins, Byron Neekins, Dick Versace, David Robinson on the All-Stars. Uwe Blob, you said he's an Indiana guy? Oh yeah. Sure enough, 1985. Danny Young and Larry Drew. Uwe Blob. I'll go ahead and sleeve up Tim Hardaway Jr. or Tim Hardaway rookie. Raymond, how we doing, my man? We're just ripping some old school NBA. Old school NBA. B.J. Armstrong, Sherman Douglas, Clyde Drexler, Larry Krystkowiak, Bob Weiss. There's Akeem Olajuwon, Brad Davis, Ralph Sampson, Chucky Brown, Mike Woodson, Don Nelson, Rolando Blackman, Reggie Williams, Stu Jackson, and Mark McNamara. Oh, good old Dan Dockich. There's been some nice players enter the transfer portal this past couple days, so hopefully IU can jump on a couple of those. I know, same here, Raymond. This is a set that I started collecting when I was young and got me started. Dave Hoppin, Reggie Lewis, Maurice Cheeks, Larry Smith, Scott Hastings, Karl Malone, Chris Ford, Vernon Maxwell, and Michael Thompson. So we have already hit the Sam Vincent chase with Jordan in the background with number 12 on. We hit that once. Sean Kemp rookie, Tim Hardaway rookie, Larry Bird All-Star, Muggsy Bogues, Ronnie McRae, Moses Malone, David Rim, Trent Tucker. There he is, Michael Jordan. Larry Brown. Oh, young Larry Brown. Holy cow. Michael Jordan All-Star. Boom. Nice. So Greg's got a couple. That's his third Jordan so far. Xavier McDaniel, Karl Malone, Tom Chambers, LaSalle Thompson, John Battle, Burrow, Randolph Hayes, Garland, Keski, Kevin Johnson, Chris Ford, Winston Bennett, and Gerald Henderson. Pooh Richardson, John Stockton, Tom Chambers, Del Curry, Kenny Smith, Mike Campbell, Kenny Walker, Jay Vincent, Johnny Newman, Greg Kite, Kenny Gaddison, Tom Chambers, Morton, and Eddie Lee Wilkins. I have not hit any mark yet. I did hit the Sam Vincent with Jordan number 12 on it a few packs ago. Chuck Person, Sidney Green, Randy Brewer, Mike Brown, Winston Garland, Kiki Vandeweghe, Nick Botta, Kevin Johnson, Frank Burkowski, Winston Bennett, and Gerald Henderson. I did hit Patrick Ewing, so I know that one's in here. But I have not hit the Mark Jackson. I'm hoping so, my man. I really am. I'm hoping so. Brian Shaw, James Worthy. There's Reggie, Randy Whitman, Tom Hammonds, Terry Teagle, Earl Griffin, Scott Brooks, Paul McKeskey, Phil Jackson, Joe Dumars, Steve Alford, Kevin Edwards, and Cliff Livingston. Surely within 2 boxes we're going to hit at least one. I would love to hit more for you. Wayman Tisdale, Kevin Johnson, Harold Pressey, Newt Bull, Lechner, John Williams, Dennis Thompson, Darrell Walker, John Stockton, Michael Ainsley. It's coming. Oh, I know it is. I agree with you. It's coming. There's Dennis Rodman, Terry Cummings, J.R. Reed, Dana Barros. There's a second Dennis Rodman. Same pack. Bobby Hansen, Harvey Grant, Charles Davis, Randy Allen, Ron Anderson, James Worthy, Derek Smith, Jeff Martin, and Brad Sellers. Got a couple Dennis Rodmans that pack. Solid for the Pistons. Xavier McDaniel, Rick McHorn, Cliff Robinson, rookie, Bill Whittington, Rod Higgins, Jerry Sloan, Charles Jones, Wes Unseld, Danny Ainge, Mitchell Wiggins, Clyde Drexler, Danny Ferry, rookie, and Grant Long. Alvin Robertson, Vladi, rookie, Kelly Tripucka, Derek Harper, Patrick Ewing. There you have Patrick Ewing All-Star for you. Jerry Reynolds, Thurl Bailey, Benoit Benjamin, Will Purdue, Purvis Ellison, Buck Johnson, and a Magic All-Star. Hansa, Jack Chase, and Billy Thompson. That was a solid pack right there. Patrick, Magic All-Star. Magic down here. Put his All-Star here. So the second Patrick that we've hit. Nice. Come on. Let's see that Mark Jackson. Hey, there's Larry. There's Magic. Byron Scott, Joe Klein, Reggie Theus, Tyrone Corbin. Oh, there he is. Boom. There you go. Got him. There you go. Melendez brothers right there. Boom, boom. There you go, Josh. Mark Jackson. Got it. Jordan down here, and we're going to put Mark Jackson, our two chases, right smack in the middle. Boom. Got him. Walter Davis, Craig Hodges, Dominic Wilkins, Lester Connor, Tellus Frank, and Joe Sundvold. There you go, my man. There's the first one. Hopefully we can hit a couple for you. That way you can send them all in and hopefully get at least one, if not more, Jim Metz 10. That'd be awesome. It doesn't look bad at all. I wish I had my grading kit with me. Corners look solid. The edging, it's an old card, so it's hard to say, but it looks pretty sharp. Looks pretty centered, from what I can see. So, I'm excited for you, my man. I'm definitely excited for you. I know, that's what I was thinking about doing with the Sam Vincent with Jordan 12. Like, I'm tempted to send it in and get graded. Alright, so there's your first one. And I'll get all this out in the mail to you. I will try to get them out in the morning if I can. There's David Robinson, Rookie of the Year. Mark Bryant, Kevin Gamble, Dan Marley. There's Kurt Rambis. Liddell Eccles. Gilliam, Downey Dawkins. Reggie All-Star. Boom. Tom Garrick, Ron Harper, Ross Dean. Hey, there you go. Second one. Back-to-back packs. Boom. Mark Jackson in back-to-back packs. Nice. Ah! Don't fall. I kept waiting for it, and now we've hit two of them back-to-back packs for you. Boom. Hey, there he is. Michael Jordan, Sam Bowie, Byron Scott, Dennis Johnson, Gaukis, Musselman, Bailey, Daly, Fitch, Grant. There's Larry Legend, All-Star, Derek Smith, Schuler, and Schmreck. Boom. Larry and Jordan in that pack. Yeah, I will. I'll definitely do that for you. I have a select break after this for baseball, so it'll have to be after that break gets done. But yes, I can definitely do that. So, were you just on? I hit a second one. Oh, 100% agree with you, Raymond. I mean, Mark Jackson was a good player back then, but, I mean, people weren't, like, collecting it for who was in the background at the time, for sure. Glenn Rivers, there's Magic Johnson. Chapuka, Joe Klein, Reggie Theus, Tyrone Corbin, Jerry Sloan, Jim Lynam, Olden Polynis, Walter Davis, Craig Hodges, Dominic Wilkins, Pinckney, Frank, and Tolbert. Dominique. And Magic Johnson. So that's the second Magic most valuable player that we've gotten. Solid. There's Isaiah, Hall of Famer, Vladdy, rookie, Cliff Robinson, Derek Harper, Patrick Ewing, another Patrick All-Star, Purvis Ellison, Buck Johnson, Magic, Ed Pinckney, Derek Chivas, and Joe Svundvold. It's a second Magic All-Star in Miami, of course. Brunt, John Sally, Michael Horn, J.R. Reed, Bill Whittington, Rod Higgins, Lechner, Charles Jones, Will Purdue, Danny Ainge, Wiggins, Clyde the Glide, Steve Alford, and Billy Thompson. There's Larry Legend, Terry Cummings, Kevin Johnson, Dana Barros, Dennis Rodman, Harvey Grant, Wes Unseld, James Worthy, Jeff Martin, and Grant Long. I might have to 7:45. I might have to end the video and start a new video for the last box because of the hour. Time out. John Stockton, Reggie, Will Henderson, Michael Ainsley. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the last box. The boxes back then had 35 packs in them compared to the 20 to 24, depending on the set that comes out now. Jefferson, Randy Whitman, Tom Hammonds, Teagle, Scott Brooks, John Williams, Jerome Lane, Phil Jackson, Joe Dumars, Kevin Edwards, and Cliff Livingston. Nothing major there. There's Joe on the All-Star. Come on, let's hit another Sam Vincent. There's Vladdy rookie, Cliff, Derek Harper, Reggie Theus, Reynolds, Lechner, Kaminsky, Reed, Hodges. There's another Magic, Chris, Derek Chivas, and Mike Schreck. So that is our third Magic All-Star. B.J. Armstrong, Sam Bowie, Byron Scott, Dennis Johnson, Marley, Musselman, Sloan, Williams, Pressey. There's a Sean Kemp rookie, Larry Legend All-Star, and Woolridge. So nice on the Larry All-Star. This is the second Larry All-Star that we've gotten. And Sean Kemp rookie. Alright, Charles Smith, Charles Barkley, Pat Riley, Sam Perkins, Tim Perry, upside down to James Edward, Michael Cooper, Williams, Casey Jones, Vay Johnson, Delaney Rudd, A.C. Green, Hanzik, Stuart Gray, and Orlando Woolridge. There's Dominique, Alex English, Buck Williams, Jim Paxson, Mark West, Duckworth, Fetliver, Paul Pressey, Derek McKee, Miles Sanders, Charles Barkley All-Star, Lester Connor, Joe Wolf, and Scott Roth. Ooh, look at that mullet. Woo. Scott Roth, out of Wisconsin. Out of Wisconsin. Stacey King, Charles Oakley, London Blackman, James Donaldson, Terry Catledge, Mark Akers, Dan Shays, Michael Cage, Robert Reed, Detlef Schrempf, Isaiah Thomas, Doug Moe, Sean Long, and Sarunas. Alright, so we got 5 more packs in this first box here. I'm going to have to end the video and then start a new one, just because of how Instagram does there. Chris Mullen, Kevin McHale, Herb Williams, Jeff Hornacek, Lever, Nick Anderson, Antoine Card, Dale Ellis, Richard Anderson, Scottie Pippen, Mookie Blaylock, Sam Mitchell, and Christian Welp. But I'll make it quick. That way we can get everything back up and going and moving through things quickly. So, Danny Manning, Mark Price, Robert Parrish, Frank Cornett, Grant, Kenny Battle, Gray or Bagley, Johnson is another Sean Kemp rookie, Kevin McHale All-Star, and Drazen Petrovic rookie. BJ Armstrong, Brad Doherty, Glenn Rice, Jay Humphreys. There he is, Sam Vincent. Boom, I love it. Chris Mullen, Del Harris, Ken Norman, Steve Kerr, Benny Del Negro, Blue Edwards, Robert Parrish, Todd Leidy, Mel Turpin, and AC Green. Alright, so we got 2 of the Jordan 12s. So, the first one looks a little better shape-wise than this one does. Bud Webb, Michael, Greg Anderson, O. Smith, Bill Lambier, Joe Bear Carroll, Wilkins, Greg Kite, Vern Fleming, Eric Floyd, Jack Haley, Caldwell Jones, and Rick Adelman. Alexander Volkov, Mitch Richmond, Patrick Ewing. There's the All-Star coaches. Dave Corzine, Blair Rasmussen, Chucky Brown, Dick Moda, Ricky Green, Don Chaney, Roy Hinson, Bob Thornton, Larry Drew, and Adrian Dantley. Alright, I'm going to end the video, and then I'm going to restart it, and I'll leave everything where it's at until it gets restarted, and then we'll go from there. So give me 1 second while I reset everything, and we'll get going. Video.